All right. Good morning, good afternoon, evening, wherever you are in this fine world. I am Aaron Zero, and today we will be completing the journey of Team Pen Island. Yeah, sorry, I'm not saying. I kind of realized now that I'm not saying that name twice. I kind of spaced out the letters because you're not gonna get me to say that. Sorry, Chester, it's not happening. All right, so we're entering into the finals of this bracket of the Southeast Asian Tier 5 division of the Lotto 2's Battle Cups. For those uninitiated, it is a sort of like a every Saturday mini tournament where the winner gets $20,000 plus shards, which you could use to get a key that will allow you to open the Dead Reckoning chest in the current Muerta themed event. Muerta, of course, being the newest hero being released to this game. So let's introduce the players for Caruso. We have Brethren Groot, Chinggis, Fujiawen, Up, and Chinese name, which I have no idea what it stands for. I may need it. I might just like check his Steam profile in a bit and give us a name, but most likely I might refer him to just the hero he will be using. On the other team, you have Zilech, Moon 7 Silver, J-Bot, M Chesses, and Emperor. Alright, so bans for the first phase have finished. Caruso immediately banning out Axe and Legion Commander, which PS more like standard initiator bans for offlane, whereas Pen Island do ban Pudge and Dazzle. Okay, so it seems more Pen Island seems to be a bit more targeted when it comes to their banning. They didn't really ban Pudge and or Dazzle in any of their previous matchups, so probably feels more like something like a specific thing for their opponents here in the Battle Cup. Caruso immediately picking out the Marcy. Marcy is the first hero that will be going out for the Radiant side of Caruso. Excellent initiator, does a lot of great things, can reposition, can deal tons of damage, can sustain her allies, good stuff. And the Pen Island immediately follow up with the Witch Doctor. So Witch Doctor seems to has seen play in this entire 3-game run of Pen Island so far in this tournament, and then immediately followed up by Moon Silver's Lone Druid, afraid of being banned again. But to Mr. Moon Silver's credit, he did play a really good Faceless Void in their semi-final game. So I guess since this is the finals, after all, you gotta go all out, so to speak, and pick up the Lone Druid, picking up a strong laner, a strong tower pusher, and someone who can bait out opponents to fight, but can suddenly turn around with the fear and with the bear transformation. Reserve time is not being used by Caruso. They never probably expected the Lone Druid to come out. So it's like, oh shit, what do we do now? We need a hero that's strong enough to kill the Lone Druid itself, as well as the bear, of course. So while you may say, okay, it is a risk to reveal your carry player so early and even open to counters, it also testaments to the confidence you have in that carry hero that you can play it into what sounds and feels like a really bad matchup, but if you have like, great confidence in the hero, like any counter they put doesn't really matter. So the first attempt for them to counter Lone Druid is online with the Winter Wyvern. The Winter's Curse obviously designed to have the bear either attack Lone Druid or vice versa. So it's pretty standard counter to Lone Druid to pick up the Winter Wyvern. But it was interesting to see if they will allow him to cast those Winter's Curse to begin with, because Winter Wyvern will have the same rules as Dazzle. The first thing you see, you kill it first. That's the rule whenever you see any kind of hero with saves or like Shallow Grave or like any key ults. You kill it first. You target that first, and that fight just goes way easier for everyone else. Winter Wyvern is gonna have to really uh, dodge everything is gonna be coming his way, because there'll be a lot coming his way, I assume, from the side of Pen Island. First, second phase bans are now coming in. Caruso banning out the Death Prophet. They are really not fans of the offlane role this one, because they're banning out several offlane players. Was going to get offlane, of course, is the key position to win for most games, especially here in Southeast Asia, I guess. They then transition to mid and take out the Ember Spirit, a great tempo setting, lane dominating, ganking hero, can be all over the map, can be highly elusive. Pretty good stuff if they pick up with the Ember Spirit ban. Pen Island do retaliate by banning the Underlord. So Underlord already banned twice so far by Pen Island. They're not a fan of Underlord and his global presence, and that ability to lock down opponents and deal AoE damage, as well as fact that since he is a very strong laner with that damage reducing aura, he is capable of taking towers and zoning out like the enemy carry quite easily. So I think their picks here will be looking to protect the lone druid. Another pick that does go to that perspective, but though it does work for the rest of the team is Drow Ranger, with of course that shard giving multi-shot that minus healing. I suppose both multi-shot and frost arrows will get that healing debuff stack. So Pen Island finishing out their bans by banning out the Kunkka, which is a comfort pick, of course, for most mids nowadays. And then go straight into the Snapfire. So Snapfire has been seeing a lot of heavy use. So far, like, Pen Island is really busting out the heavy guns in this one. Witch Doctor, Lone Druid, Snapfire. This was the combo that led them to great success in Game 1, and hopefully they're hoping that this would continue on in Game 2. Caruso, though, does ban out the Sniper, which is a very obvious counter to the next pick that they end up picking, the OD, Outworld Destroyer, the Meme Hammer Carrier. And then, of course, they supplement that with Doom, the an offlane who is really going to have quite a bit of a time against this against Pen Island's Lone Druid. The Doom's high amount of armor, as well as the Scorch Earth, may be able to allow them to gap. Well, although at the moment they don't really have that kind of gap close, unless I'm thinking this Marcy is going to be playing a 4, which gives them that gap close, but basically the double melee lane, which is maybe not that great. But we'll see. We'll see if they're able to close the gap on Moon Silver. Advice, though, is that Caruso, now that they have a semi-kill, have a pretty kill lane with this one, they need to take advantage and be able to protect the Lone Druid. So let's see. It depends on where the heroes will be going after this. After all, if the Io is still very much free, so they can go Witch Doctor Io and have the Snapfire play either mid or mid like the previous game, or off lane in this one as well. So Pen Island look to be picking probably the next hero. I'm thinking it's going to be someone that's going to pair with the either they're going to pick a mid or they're going to pick it off or pick their other support. Snapfire, of course, is another pretty good flex pick. They're hoping to save the IO last to make sure that they don't have anyone who's like a natural, who do ban out anyone like a natural counter to IO. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. They end up picking the Undying. So that's going to be the one who'll be protecting the Lone Druid against the incursions on the side of Caruso. This should be a good one. Undying also is will be a bit weird playing into 2 strength cores, but it will also play into his strengths as well, because strength, of course, being the primary attribute of what's probably going to be their off lane in the Doom and the Marcy. So it's going to be this Undying may have a hell of a time trying to zone out those 2 and let Moon Silver's Lone Druid farm up, I'd say. For third base bans coming in, Caruso will look to pick a carry, and they're banning a carry as well, taking out the Juggernaut. Pen Island, meanwhile, taking out the Ursa, and Caruso and replying with the Spectre. So they don't believe that this Lone Druid is actually going to carry this game. Pen Island round out their bans by banning out the Shadow Fiend, and they pick up the Clinks. So this Clinks is going to be rolling in their as their safe lane. They're hoping that, though it's going to take a bit of a build-up, especially as this Caruso lineup suddenly feels very, very greedy. I mean, of course, OD can easily start making space with the Meme Hammer, but Doom and Clinks do require some farm in order to make it work. Doom, of course, being one of the best farmers in the game, but Clinks, though, is a bit weird, I'd say. It automatically makes the draft very, very greedy, because now both of their off lanes probably need to dominate the lane and need to farm up. So Pen Island may look into their final pick, and it is the Io. Okay, Witch Doctor Io, once again, a key strategy for Pen Island. Lots of healing on the side of Pen Island as well. So if I'm going for this lineup, I'd have to go for Pen Island, simply because I'm not a fan of this Clinks pick, especially. Clinks is, I mean, he's great in pubs for a reason, because you don't really expect the kind of coordination that is going to protect him, and it allows him to farm and get all of his, because he needs a ton of items to fight. He needs Gleipnir, he needs his shard, he needs BKB, he probably needs BKB, he needs his Daedalus, and then is when you feel safe enough to emerge from the shadows and fight. So he's like about 5 items as compared, of course, to Lone Druids. But let's see. They picked the Clinks pretty confidently here in this lineup. They're pretty. I'm not sure how they're going to try this one, but weird things have happened before. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us begin with the rundown where we bring you the heroes and the heroes who are running them. First up, let us go into the Radiant side. Brethren Groot on Outworld Destroyer, Chinggis on the Dune, Fujiawen on the Marcy, Up on the Clinks, and Mr. Chinese Character Man on Winter Wyvern, who is still chilling in his base along with Mr. Brethren Groot, probably waiting to get that sweet crown to begin building up to the Meme Hammer. Meanwhile, on the Dire side, you have Mr. Zilach and Snapfire, Mr. Moonsilver and Lone Druid, Mr. J Bud on the Witch Doctor, Mr. Chess on the Ayo, and Mr. Emperor on the Undying. Might be able to go for a kill early on, but not really because Chesses did get the tether early on, which of course you want to do as an Ayo. Moonsilver with the good old bear making their way into mid. Meanwhile, the Brethren not picking up crown early. He just gets instead a couple of Iron Branches and is beginning to build up towards the Hat of Midas though. So interesting decision from Mr. Brethren Groot at a Midas play. And they're not actually going for runes though, ironically. A bit late in that regard. So he has this bear, and his bear picks it up, and now there's a 3-1 rune advantage on the side of the Dire. So Dire is gonna start off this inning phase with a bit more gold that they would have expected, but it's very welcome, of course, if you're a Dire player. If you're the Dire at this point and get to start a leaving game with some good over on the mid lane, Zilach winning the mid creep delay battle against Mr. Brethren Groot, but he does end up eating a sanity. He does end up eating astral imprisonment for his troubles. Meanwhile, the top lane, Moon and Emperor putting in work, really beginning to try to zone out Fujiawen and Chinggis. Chinggis though is having none of it. He still has some. He's still getting his CS in. I mean, it's gonna take a while for Emperor to really build up to have enough stacks that he can start really wearing down these two strength off lanes. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, J-Bud and Chesses are trying at least to pull back the creeps to their tower, trying to even out the lane equilibrium. While Mr. Winter Wyvern, the Chinese Character Man, is chilling in the side. Hold on, since we have time, let's take a look. Take a break from the action. Let's see what names he can use. This user, Zarana it is. Zarana it is. Okay, so we have a name for you, Mr. Chinese Character Man, and it is Mr. Zarana. Well done. All right, so Zarana, now I think to use that Arctic Burn in order to slow down this. Arctic Burn does have a slow. I'm not sure if it does. No, it does. Just the DOT doesn't really affect healing per se. Emperor and Moonsilver, meanwhile, the top lane are continuing their farming up. Although Emperor has done a good job of pretty much zoning out both Chinggis, who does use the early Devour to pick up the Frost attack, allowing him to slow up enemies. This would be good for if they decide to move against Emperor as well. Emperor though, no, I think they can go aggressive yet. Although Dispose and Rebound is available, they use the Dispose or the Rebound immediately to save both Fujiawen and allow Chinggis some extra movement speed. But the lane has now moved a bit closer towards the Radiant side. Over on the mid lane, Zilach is still continuing to duel with Brethren Groot. Brethren Groot so far is winning the last hit battle with his 2 last hits ahead, probably due to that early astral imprisonment. However, he is still farming up towards the Hand of Midas, so he's not going for the Meme Hammer this game. He's going for the Witchblade. That is interesting indeed. Meanwhile, Up is being attacked by both Jessus and J-Bud, and he will go down. First blood given up by the side of the Radiant to the side of the Dire. So early kill on up. But then again, though, this is actually a part of what you typically see from Klings. Klings, is not a very strong laner by any sense of the word. You typically pair him with someone like Undying, ironically, in order to protect him and keep him alive while he attempts to farm up. So like, just gonna be feeding, and then he's gonna come back and be this massive monster. But Zaranano looks to be in trouble, but J-Bud and Chesses do make the save, do hold the line at least, and they're maintaining this equilibrium near his tower though. So quite aggressive from this really powerful healing lineup on the other side of the map. Emperor manages to pull off the pull and even gets a stack as well though. That means that's going to really tear into this lane, right there into these laning creeps, and probably delay something for the side of um, the Dire, although Emperor does catch Fujiawen trying to disrupt the pull. Fujiawen does hit it with the rebound. The dispose is still there, but he's not going to use it. The decay is still coming up. Decay is running out, though, with the Scorched Earth. Emperor does fall to Fujiawen and Chinggis, making Emperor pay. But at the cost, of course, of letting Moonsilver pretty much just farm very, very well here in the top lane instead. Meanwhile, up. Okay, let's. I think we have to do the same thing. Mr. Up. You know, we got it. We had to have a name that's not an emoticon anymore. Huh. Let's take a look. All right, so there's no other aliases. So up you are. Okay, so up is looking for some last hits on against Jay, but he is losing out this last hit battle. Ironically, he's losing out the last hit battle to Jay, but who now has 20 last hits, leading the Radiant side, leading the Dire side. Apologies in last hits though. On the mid lane, once again, Zealer's not doing that much better, but at least he's not dying often, which is good. Mainly because, of course, this guy is going for a Hand of Midas for reason. Like, I don't like this Hand of Midas build. Like, you might as well just go like Meteor Hammer, since remember you will have a Clinks that will not come online until much later in the game, so it doesn't make sense for you to go greedy as well. Just like go build go build the instead of building Midas, you should have built Meteor Hammer. Might be a lot more consistent and may allow you to make more space, take more objectives that way. I'd say. J-Bud and Chess is continuing to have a grand old time here at the bot lane. They did manage to kill up, so there is a kill threat on both heroes, but of course, Mr. Zarana trying to hold the fort against this team. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Moon's Emperor is running low, but he does manage to take Chinggis with him to the grave. Fujiawen is also low. Moonsilver and the Bear are in hot pursuit. Fujiawen does manage to skate through the trees, and he is out, but it may cost him dearly as the top tower is now being worked on by the creep. Both and the card lane as well, but they do spot up Fujiawen. Fujiawen does have the rebound. He may be safe, but after all, Moon 7 Silver is, and the rest of his bear is on the hunt, but he now sends the bear to probably block for him. He does have it. No, he does. He doesn't have it for like 74 seconds. He also ends up killing the courier of Mr. Zarana. Good work from Moon Silver, seeing that Zarana was probably hoping to pick up its boots, its arcane orb, I guess, to get arcane boots, but unfortunately that will not happen in this lane. So far, this Brethren Groot is continuing to hit him with those Astrals, but now he is, Astral's gone. Okay, let me pay you back in time with some good old kisses. He does hit the Astral Imprisonment in order to dodge the last one, but it allows Zealot to get into position for the Scatter Blast, and Brethren Groot is dead. Once again, Mr. Zelach winning the top lane this time, or winning the mid lane this time with again with the Snapfire. Once again, taking advantage of a somewhat somewhat pretty fragile, large damage dealing strength hero. Meanwhile, Emperor does fall to Chinggis and Fujiawen. Let's take a bit of a rewind and see what happened. So same thing, Emperor once again does block out the neutrals with this blue ward, but he may pay for it with his life, though he is slowed up by Chinggis, who does have the Frost Breath, and the Scorched Earth active tries to get himself with creeps, and it's not enough. That time, Mr. Emperor does fall. So Emperor is fulfilling his purpose. He's giving Moonsilver free reign. He's now level 6, while Chinggis is only about a little bit over halfway to level 5. Do they spot out these wards though? I don't think so. No, I don't think it's out of just out of range of that ward. Just probably just to give them some vision and help them control their pull if ever. Meanwhile, they go right into him. They go right into Mr. Moonsilver, but with the fear, it allows them to chase them back. And Emperor's timely arrival means that they'll be forced to back off. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Illusion Rune picked up by the commendable birthday boy, Mr. Zilach. And that queues up into our and Chinggis now is falling though. He does hit with everything. But let's take a look at what exactly happened in this one. So, how did we get here? Emperor once again going hard on Chinggis and Fu Jiawen. However, he does drop the Tombstone. They don't have any good ones to drop the Tombstone, except probably for Ninja Wen. But the Tombstone is putting in work. The Doom is down. Fu Jiawen is in trouble. Zilach does TP in and starts hitting him with the kisses. Is it enough? It just moves out of range. That rebound may have saved his life, but at the cost of his tower. So, pretty good swing. I mean, it does require a TP on the side of Zilach and will abandon the mid to his fate. But again, since this Brethren Groot did pick up the Midas first, I mean, you know, so I don't think it'll be anything. Zilach though does get the Fire Grab Suki just as the Dispo does, and he gets the Doom off, which means he will definitely die. But he does take Mr. Fu Jiawen with him to the grave, and now even this top tower is down. So early control taken on the side of the Radiant. Meanwhile, let us rewind a bit to the past again to see what happened. So meanwhile, while the top lane was battling, we do have Zarana, who is once again being gone on by Chestus and J-Bud. It's clear though that they've happily won this game because he's gone, and with no Winter's Curse and we hit on the Maledict, there is no hope for Mr. Zarana. He falls as well. In the mid lane, Brethren Groot attempting to really push out this, but without the Meteor Hammer, he's just unable to push it really, really slowly, while Emperor is just happy, just chilling in the mid, just gonna take experience, especially now that Zilach is now capable of moving around. He's a bit of ways away from his travel, but that should be rectified pretty soon. As we're about 10 seconds away from us entering the second daytime in the 10-minute mark. Laning phase has gone really, really well on the side of the Dire. They've actually managed to convincingly win all 3 lanes by 10 minutes. That's pretty good stuff. But then again, it's easy to win a lane against the Clinks with Winter Wyvern. It's not going to be able to block and screen for him. Zilach though does have invisibility. He is moving towards the bot lane, and we have a disconnect. Apparently, even here in the Battle Cup, we are plagued by our worst enemy, and that is lag spikes. So, one sec. Okay. So of course, some pleasantries exchanged and some gamesmanship exchanged by both teams. That's good. That's good. Brother Groot does come back online, so it's a pretty short pause. I'd say. I think it's more of like he was lagging though. Pretty good stuff. Trini has the immortal one though. Oh, immortal one of the wings though, which is kind of disappointing. Meanwhile, at the bot tower, they may have found Zarana once more. Zarana does get hit with the Maledict, the paralyzing cask, and the Fire Snap Cookie. Zarana is down, and this map is going to be quickly closing for who does not have the Death Pact, which means that he cannot gain health yet. From his, he just cannot gain health yet, which is not only accelerates his farm, but allows him to stay alive a lot longer here in the jungle. Even taking a lot of effort just to take down the Centauros. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Emperor does get landed on by Fu Jiawen and Brethren Goat, but the Morning Burst Kisses come in, and the relocate though. However, they do take out Emperor, but Fu Jiawen dies in response. However, Brethren Goat attempting to use the Astral to save himself, but it is not enough. He falls just in time for Chessus and J-Bot to return to the bot lane and continue to push. What a movement and a fight from the side of the Dire. pretty fast stuff, I'd say, coming from the Dire team this game. So they're doing a pretty good job of making quick rotations across the map, and then now, because again, this is gonna be a very this is now turned to a very greedy lineup. Who's gonna be making space for any of these guys? I'd say Chinggis though is gonna do his best. So he does have the Doom pop, but because it's a Doom, he has to make a choice between Moonsilver and his bear. Though Moonsilver is dropping low, Doom is about to run out. This may be sufficient. The Thrust Breath is keeping him down, as well as the Scorched Earth. Moonsilver is dead. Killing Spree giving up, but Brethren Groot is in trouble as Chesses and J-Bud does hit let's hit the pair with the Bongos and the Maledict, and now he managed to take out Fujowen as well. Up attempts to help. But of course, he's not going to be in any position to do anything. He's still far too weak. G's only level 5. How badly did that lane go for him? He does only have the javelin, but that's like that's just pretty bad for Slark. For Klinks rather, his lane's going to be so delayed, and because Brethren Goat went for this instead of the Meteor Hammer, his game's also going to be delayed as well. He's going to have to try and make space for him. He's not going to be the space maker this game. Chesses and J-Bud once again move forward. They hit the paralyzing cast, but he is disrupted by that astral imprisonment. So I don't think they'll be able to push him, but they're now into the enemy the Radiant Triangle, which means that now they're now beginning to squeeze out the map on the side of the Radiant. Chinggis is falling low, but at long last, the first Winter's Curse of the game. But is it worth it? There's no bear in this one, and Chinggis is now dropping low, but he is running not just from the Grandma, but from Mortimer, and Mortimer snipes him out. Chinggis is down. Moonsilver has joined them. The Fear and the Death Ward is taking down Fujowen, and Fujowen joins her lane mate into the ethereal void of death. Emperor has been really doing a good job pushing them back. Unable to get any kind of follow-up rotation, but Astral Imprisonment on the Mr. Zealech means that they may have some follow-up for this, but no. With Winter's Curse already used, it does not look into a good fight. However, Brethren Groot wants extended way farther than he expected. Brethren Groot though does have the DD, but not enough. He is dead. Chinggis attempts to save his mid, and now all 4 heroes on the side of the Dire Radiant still alive are in the mid tier 2. They're trying to defend it. Emperor is forcing them back though. He's already activated the golden form, so he's a big bad nasty zombie. Getting like tank from Left 4 Dead, or any Left 4 Dead fans are aware of the big tank, then that is Emperor in spades indeed. He does pick up the arcane boots already as well, so he pretty much has almost near limitless mana in order to just keep spamming those decays. Meanwhile, the Radiant quickly see their map close almost in an instant. Now they're confident to move up in. Now Dire is confident to move up into their off lane and start taking their ancients, which is big for them if they needed to make need those to make a comeback. Though Skeleton Walk has not been level because of course he's will be very poor in this game. Again, it's a very greedy game from the side of the Radiant. So 15 minutes in, let's take a look at the item situation. Moonsilver has the phase boots finished. He will have his bear carry boots, the phase boots as well as the Maelstrom to help him farm faster. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have if you can find him, maybe you can fire the Pen Island. Anyway, Mr. Zealech has finished the Boots of Travel, so it will allow him to quickly make rotations all over the map and use that global timing with the relocate from J-Bud and Chesses, who pretty much is rolling together as a unit at this point. J-Bud does have the mecha complete. He's building his way towards the arcane boots. He also has the Holy Locket. Jeez, how great of a lane this J-Bud had so far in this game. On the other side of the map, up still only has boots. Probably should have picked this up anymore since he's so behind, as well as the javelin, which should help. But like, dude, please just eat the creep. Eat this one. Eat this guy with the death pack. The death pack's online. Just do it, dude. Your farm is way too behind. Meanwhile, on the other side, Brethren Groot already has the Witchblade though, so let's see if they're gonna be able to do something with it. Chinggis with the Blink Dagger, and he is in trouble now because the they put it on the high ground, but the Doom cast on the Ayo for reasons. However, the Winter's Curse has come in, but it's not enough to save him. Chinggis, though, is down. He does take the full brunt, and of course, with this with their Tombstone putting in work, and since their best Tombstone killer is the Marcy, and Marcy is dead, well, that's unfortunate, but stuff happens. Brother Good is in trouble, gets hit by the spirits. Chess once again does it tries to establish to increase the range so that it would hit him, but it does not matter. Brethren Groot is fallen, and this Radiant team is crumbling very, 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 very fast. Up, of course, managing to get some push in the top lane. Though he's using the if I'm winning lane rotation. Though technically, if you're losing, it just means you cut across your safe camp until you hit their ancients. But I digress. Chinggis does have the dagger, so at least he will be another source of initiation. He also has the BKB equipped. J-Bud and Chesses are now really pushing into this top lane, into his bottom tier 2, but not if Brethren Groot has anything to say about it. Brethren Groot is now getting hit by the full arsenal of skills, but the healing may just be way too much. J-Bud though is stunned, but he is in the glimmer, so he should be safe. J-Bud though is making a run for it, but just all that damage just means he's practically healing back everything he's dealing. And they even managed to take a Brethren Good. Chinggis is dead as well. That shard reveal from Zealech allowing him to take down Chinggis. Fujawed and Zarana are now on the run. Zarana is attempting to scale back amidst the Jailbud and the rest of the Dire, but it will not be successful. And the bottom tier 2 from the Dire from Radiant rather falls. Not only does this give the Dire side control of their jungle and as well as their outpost, of course, it now allows them to start making headway into pushing this tier 3. Which is truly which suddenly Radiant's now in a truly precarious situation. 12k net worth lead, 18 minutes into this game. This game is starting to go out of hand very quickly on the side of the Dire. Meanwhile, for the Radiant though, they still have a window, but that window is rapidly closing. They need to make the correct kind of moves, target the right kind of heroes. Otherwise, this game will just be rolled over. Zealech and Chesses is now tethered up to one another. Chinggis and Zarana trying to farm up something. They're going to try and push into this top middle tier 2. Even without Aegis, how strong this pushing lineup is with Snapfires, Little Shredder, and now with the Desolator, probably in response to that heavy armor lineup, which includes Doom, of course. So Moonsilver transforms into his own Elder Bear form. The bear form, of course, with the demolish, allowing him to do even more damage to buildings. So, and now they finally get it. The Winter's Curse has come in, but the healing is far too much. J-Bud is just healing everything, but they can't end up casting the Doom on the Lone Druid. But while the Lone Druid is very tanky, however, Chinggis may pay for it with his life, and Chinggis does fall. The Doom was a weird decision to make from the side of Mr. Chinggis. He's probably hoping that it was going to help him take it out somehow, but with all that healing and damage coming in, and now they're pushing heavily into this tier 3. J-Bud has activated the Death Ward. Moon 7 Silver's Bear has come in and cleaned up. Brethren Groot is dead. The tier 3s have fallen in only 20 minutes into this game, and this game is already looking very dire for the side of the Radiant. Up, and Fujiwen are the last ones remaining, as well as Mr. Zarana. They're trying desperately to stop this push, but it may be too late for them. The strong tower push lineup by Moonsilver's Bear just going ham on this lane means that they just have no response at all in order to take down this. They have no response, basically. And now they're just gonna. And now both the tier. This looks like another lane of racks. That's what happens when you have a slower hero like Klink. He's still only just farming his Dragonlance. Like, why farm Dragonlance? You're already behind. You need items to make an impact now. And now you are reigns of lax, aka lanes of racks behind. And J-Bud with the disrespect on the tinkles. On the Klink saying yet he tickles. Well, I don't think at this point the Klinks is in any position to contract at that point. Like, if I were him, I would have skipped the Dragonlance entirely and just gotten Crystallis at this point. Your team now needs you. You need to start making moves over the map. J-Bud is being gone on by Klinks and by Chinggis and by the up and everyone else on the Radiant side. Is it enough to kill him? J-Bud though is living through all of it, but he's not gonna live through that. As Sanity's Eclipse does take him down, but what cost the Mortimer skills are coming in, as well as Mr. Moonsilver with in his massive bear form. The rest of Radiant is forced to retreat as their carry up is down, or rather is still alive, but they do end up losing Zarana. Zarana though, uh, rather Zarana's lane partner up and Chinggis have been hiding a bit in the trees. Is this going to be the end? Maybe not. There's no Winter's Curse here that they can play off, but it's more of just to like force them back because it would allow them to concentrate their attention on pushing back this encroaching Crete wave while the rest of the Dire side prepared to push into the last tower that is still and the last external tower that is still up for the side of the Radiant. This Moonsilver's bear already has the Mjolnir and the Skull Basher, which means that that's going to be a very, very fast bear. Has quickly taken down their top tier 2. Only the top tier 3 and Rax remain in their lane. Both the Radiant is now very much concerted to defending this. Are they probably going to Roche? They could. They can Roche. They can Roche. This is now a strong Roche pushing lineup. Plus, they have all the heals, of course, with J-Bud and Chess is coming in as well to support. Moonsilver Emperor is staying behind in order to eat up any stuns that may come his way. Zealot just joined in as well, of course, with the minus armor with the little shredder. Meanwhile, while they're doing that, Radiant, who again will have no capability to take this Roche whatsoever, is still trying to force back the creeps that are encroaching into their lane, while Chinggis is taking the very dangerous farm and just keep cutting waves, hoping to try to get his BKB before the Dire gets back with the Aegis of Immortal in their possession. First Aegis taken by the side of the Dire, which means it will allow them to push into this Radiant offlane, and it would allow them to take the last tower and the last set of racks. They do give Aegis to Moonsilver, which is smart though, because Moonsilver is the main tower pusher in this game. So, and now the Bear and J-Bud is in. This is it? The final fight can decide of. Oh, now he picks up the Meteor Hammer though. So it's like, okay, this kind of late, especially you should have just got Meteor. It can't go both. However, the excellent use of the Lotus Ore means that the Winter's Curse, but not just hits J-Bud, but also hits the side, also hits Zarana. Zarana's dead, immediately buys back. This Rax is falling very, very fast, but they have no Winter's Curse anymore. They still have this. They still have this. Up who's trying to do his darnest team alive. Chinggis does land the doom on J-Bud, but at what cost? Chinggis though is trying to do his best to kill this bear, but he's dropping low. They do manage to kill Moon 7 Silver though, but it only pops the Aegis. The Sanity's Eclipse managed to take out Emperor. Emperor is down. Killing spree streak is given up, but they are now in Mega's territory. We're going to see some very beefy creeps come out. And Menfu Joanne is forward. They're trying to do something with this, but is this going to be enough? They do land the Maledict and the Voodoo Switcheroo. Chinggis is now trying to drop low. He does miss the Meteor Hammer, but the Cold Embrace may keep Chinggis a lot longer, but not that long though, as Chinggis ends up dying. Anyway, the Cold Embrace may have cost him his life there because it pretty much stopped his forward progress and ensured that he was not able to get away from that one, So with Megas now, this is actually looking to be a very quick game. Megas are now in. Up just cannot farm. He's trying to get the Gleipnir at this point, but it's very, very late. Should have just went straight for the. Should have just went straight to the Crystallis, and yeah, this game looking very much decided. Pen Island finishing this SEA Battle Cup with this current Battle Cup at least with aplomb. Once again, the Winter's Curse on Emperor, but that doesn't even work. At this point, who can you Winter's Curse that's gonna make it make sense? That is just so unfortunate, and it may lead to the end of the game. And as the rest of the side of the region are just kind of just chilling at this point. Though with the Gleam of the Mind, it may have landed a Meteor Hammer, but it may have come like several minutes too late. You know, it's like that song goes, like all this time that you were 25 minutes too late, and yes, they were. We're at 26 minutes, but yeah, this lineup I think was lost in the draft itself. It was a very greedy draft. They just couldn't create space for all three heroes to farm, and that's it. Penn Island are the grand champion of this bracket um, of this bracket of the SEA Division Battle Cup. So congratulations, Mr. Penn Island, Team Penn Island rather. They have parlayed the fact that their lineup comes online a lot faster than their lineup does come online a lot faster, so it allows them to really take advantage of the fact that Caruso just went very, very greedy. They just couldn't find any room to farm on this team, and as a result, were just run over while they were several items behind. They were trying to get the items that would have allowed them to make a difference in this game. But unfortunately, it does not matter. MVP for this one, I'd have to give this one to Mr. Emperor, mainly because Emperor was not nominated for any of our previous MVPs in the past. But good job, actually managing to win the top against Chinggis and Fujawen, which is a very aggressive, very strong kill lane, has allowed Moonsilver to farm pretty well. And then during the mid game, with those clutch tombstones, meant that and the fact that they didn't reposition away from the tombstone, they decided to fight around it. They decided to have Zarana attempt to destroy it, but unfortunately, it will not be enough. It was not enough to hit on the tombstone. So, Emperor, congratulations, buddy! You get the first MVP for this one. Second MVP for the side of Penn Island is this is a toughie, but I still have to give this to Zilach. Sorry, Chesses, you're still not you're not getting MVP in this one, even though you're the one who requested it. But yeah, I have to commend this one to Zilach as well, mainly because of how he was able to win this mid lane against a very, very, very greedy Outworld Devourer. And then quickly transitioning over the map, picking up this Desator was great, not just for taking down towers, but also because of this pretty high armor lineup of the side of Caruso. So, good job, Mr. Zilach. Now for Caruso, who is our honorable mention MVP, I'd have to give this to probably Chinggis. Like, Chinggis was the only one who was capable of doing anything. It's like a tie between Chinggis and Fujoen, but I have to give this over to Chinggis because Chinggis has been the only one who's actually been able to do anything in this game. He does the Doom usage is questionable, yes, but I think he's the only one who at least mainly because of course it's a Doom. He has great farming ability, but he's the only one who actually tried to do anything in this game. The rest of the team was either just farming or just tried to play behind them, but unfortunately, they just didn't have enough. Yeah, Caruso paying dearly for playing a very greedy, and it wasn't just a very greedy lineup. They played a very, what could have not been greedy though was if Mr. Brethren Groot just got rid of this and just built this, and now all of a sudden he can easily go into Z-Ledge and force rotations very quickly. But no, he went for the Witchblade and the Meteor Hammer. Like, you go one or either. You don't go both, especially not this one. This is also only if you're losing your lane, and he wasn't losing his lane. It didn't make sense for him to pick up this Hand of Midas. So that's it for Penn Island. Hold on. Let's take a look at their bracket. Let's take a look at the bracket that they were in. Let's take a look at their Okay, so that's what it looks like on the profile. The championship, so to speak. Where is their bracket? I don't know. I don't think we'll get to see it. That is unfortunate, unlucky, but you know it is what it is. All right, so that's it from me and this review. I have completed casting both games 2 and 3 of the Battle Cup. This is a pretty short one though, which is nice for my throat after all. But again, if you guys want to do replay casting of your Battle Cup as well, I am happy to do so. I will also post the replays of those right here on my YouTube channel. There it is. That's how I can see their Battle Cup. Not very good. So yeah, So to recap, Pen Island defeats first-time B Cup winners. Then they defeat Kick in the semifinals. Then they finally defeat Caruso in the grand final to become this week's champion for the Dota Plus Battle Cup Southeast Asian Division Year 5. So, thank you once again for watching this video. I am Aaron Zero, and that's it.